Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 14th of March. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me because I then will dive deep into each of the 12 zodiac signs and give you in forensic detail an idea of what to expect. Now, the sign of Pisces is very much the end of the astral journey. And next week, the Sun is going to be moving through the vernal point and we start through the spring equinox, the new astral year. So collectively, I think for a lot of us, this week particularly, is a time to really get in touch with our deeper feelings. And that could see us feeling a little bit nostalgic. We may want to withdraw a little bit and find some peace and tranquility. Any place that's near to nature or water can be particularly healing. Now, of course, Mercury moved into the sign of Pisces last week too. Technically debilitated, but brilliant if you want to write a song, share your feelings through a poem, or just think of the creative strands that help you to express the corners of your feelings, which are much less based on the practical sphere. But we do have on Friday a full moon in the practical Virgo. So that full moon asks us to balance the energy of the new moon that occurred earlier this month, which of course embraced the buoyancy of Jupiter, to find a balance between those more ethereal energies of Pisces and the more practical reality of Virgo. So if you do find yourself feeling that you want to be in a much more spiritual or healing dimension, I think your timing is impeccable this week. But the Virgo energy is saying to try and integrate it into the more physical way that you're leading your life. So if escapism really appeals to you this week, that full moon is saying important to consider issues like nutrition, exercise, life organisation, and just making sure that we see tangible progress. So we can all float off a little bit with this Pisces energy, but that can make it all the more evocative. Now, on the back of that full moon, Pluto from the middle of this week is angling into the Sun, but it's in a very positive way, in a sextile. The Sun sextiling Pluto can see internal changes or physical changes in our reality. A sextile 60 degrees constructive. But also from the middle of the week, the glorious alliance between Venus and Mars, fantastic for socializing, that comes into an abrasive right angle with Uranus, the planet of truth, but also of freedom. And the freedom fighter is now in a sign, or has been for some while, that it's not so comfortable in, the sign of Uranus. Now, of course, world peace has been shattered recently. The last time Uranus was in Taurus began in 1937, I think. And of course, that followed with the Second World War. So a lot of turbulence in the world. And I think next week, after the vernal equinox, Mars does come into an exact square with Uranus, which can be testing, particularly in terms of very sudden, unexpected, and very sort of forceful events are possible. But in our own situation, the combination of Venus and Mars in Aquarius is very much about our higher values. And Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, so there is a kind of, it's the modern ruler, so there's a kind of receptiveness. So when it comes to our financial affairs, which is the physical plane of Taurus, I think it's best not to be too idealistic. So for example, if a friend, very Aquarius, suggests getting involved in some kind of get-rich-quick scheme and you feel the impulse to join in, I'd just slow down, because Uranus squaring Venus and Mars can make us very sudden in our movements, much more impulsive. But equally, we may be drawn to someone in our group that we find very attractive, and this could happen in quite a sudden way, or we may, in a romantic relationship, want to engender greater excitement and spontaneity in it. So things have been getting a little bit too dull and predictable. A great time to try to inject a little bit of devilment into the situation by doing something together which just creates a little bit of excitement and can reignite the spark that you had when you first met. So that's the overall pattern for us all. If you are new to my channel, I would be delighted if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free written daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link below. And you can get your 12-month forecast and character analysis based on your personal astrology, time, date and place of birth, and ascend above this Zodiac broadcast by seeing the link below and get 30% off with my special offer package. Hello Aries, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 14th of March. Part of you may be tempted to just draw back, have a little moment or space to reflect on things, have some moments of isolation. But don't be surprised if friends are in touch, or there's another part of you that may want to go out. But if you do link up with people, I think the key principle in terms of any contact is going to be trust. So the people that you can absolutely rely upon to be with, even if you are feeling a bit more vulnerable or quieter or thoughtful or reflective, is the friends that are cast iron, always there for you. Because your expectations rightly could be a little bit guarded about just joining in with people generally, because I think you're processing quite a lot of delicate information at the present time, and a lot of it could be to do with the past. But then another side of your nature could be working with all this Pisces energy in a very dynamic way for the benefit of others. So if you do work in a strand of activity which is to do with supporting others, is to do with being very caring or very compassionate, your skills in this regard can really be exemplified this week to a great degree. Now, the full moon that occurs does, of course, occur in the 6th house of your situation, very much to do with your everyday reality. There may be someone that you work with that is a little bit jealous of you, Aries, but they may not be demonstrating this quite openly to you. And because Pluto is in your 10th house at the moment of your solar horoscope, it's possible that your desire to make progress in terms of your career, the sense of respect that you're held in, or you're becoming more single-minded or have been more single-minded in recent months about focusing on key aims and situations. There may be someone who doesn't quite get it, but they're unlikely to openly say how they feel. So there could be a little bit of politics around this week. But you can use the energy of your ruling planet Mars to actually counter this in its association with Venus by just being utterly charming. So if you feel someone is being, a bit disingenuous, not very honest or straightforward, just be, straight on with them. Just be very pleasant and don't give them even a little morsel to feed on, because that starves the oxygen or whatever conniving they may be up to. But in your more personal situation, the need to withdraw is going to be replaced next week by a need to explode forwards in the most dynamic way, because once the sun moves into Aries next week, you're really going to be getting back on the front foot. So if there are moments this week when you just need to be peaceful, calm and tranquil, and perhaps pursue some healing activities, why not? That's going to be a very fine thing to do.